everyone. Welcome to the temple. We begin our service singing together Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, how good and how pleasant it is to be here celebrating Shabbat together.
Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
And we turn to page 172 to sing together Ma Tovu.
Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani birochastecha avuvitecha eshtakaveh el hechal kodshecha birotecha. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Israel.
We rise as we turn to page 195 for the Berlow.
Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach li'olam va'ed.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו חסלה. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. And we read together, the world is sunlight, restoring the soul. rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning, my Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch Ata Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. We turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוך בך, ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We turn now to page 204 to sing the same song our ancestors sang as they were crossing the Sea of Reeds, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha שמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והיכו ואמרו מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נדר בקודש, נדר בקודש.
We rise now for the tefillah on page 205.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring near the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch ata Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. We read together. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, Eternal Teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. ייקח אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תומרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תומרית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תומרית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תומרית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדור תומרית עולם.
We turn now to page 216 for the blessing for Shalom. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch ata Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom.
שים שלום, שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה. חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל יראי שמך. שים שלום, שים שלום.
We turn now to page 253 for the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, in the life of everyone. everyone that is dear to us. Page 244 for the order of reading from the Torah, Seder Kriyat HaTorah. Please rise for the En Kamocha. Page 248, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai.
Two Torah portions today. We're actually finishing the book of Numbers. If you're watching us on YouTube, you actually have one advantage on everyone that is here. You can see the gap in the Torah between Numbers and Deuteronomy, telling everyone that we're finishing a book and that we're planning to continue next week with Deuteronomy, meaning that we are going from strength to strength as we're going to wish ourselves at the end of the reading. We're going to read from the Torah portion called Masa'ei. We're actually going to read the final part of the Torah portion. It speaks, it's in the book of Numbers in chapter 36. We're going to read from verse 5 in chapter 36. And it speaks about something that is actually extremely important to any society, to any life, and extremely important especially to a society that is going through something that I think we see both here in America and in our beloved Israel. A society that is going through a transformation, but also through a process that is that there are huge controversies and huge frictions within the society on what kind of a society and what kind of country do we want to be, do we ought to be, and how do you live with that? And actually there's a message here about the process of tikkun, the process of healing, and the process of change, of social change and of political change that is so important as we're going both in America and in Israel through a new administration, an administration that was before has lost an election both in Israel and here, and we have a new administration. Not everybody is supportive. How do you make changes? How do you keep a coalition? And that is maybe more clear in Israel, but I think it's also important here, where there is huge differences within that coalition, where you have a group of people that all want good things, all are for the good and welfare of the country and the society, but they're not agreeing on how to bring that about. So we're going to see it here with a great example and a great advice coming actually from Adonai our God. So let's see what God has to guide us with our troubles on earth today, and how he guides the people of Israel as they're about to enter the land of Canaan and to build a home and a society. But first we're going to page 250, where Jennifer is going to lead us with the blessing before reading from the Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
ויצב משה את בני ישראל על פי אדוני לאמור, כן מטה בני יוסף דוברים. זה הדבר אשר ציווה אדוני לבנות צלופחד, לאמור, לטוב בעיניהם תהיינה לנשים, אך למשפחת מטה אביהם תהיינה לנשים. ולא תסוב נחלה לבני ישראל ממטה אל מטה, כי איש בנחלת מטה אבותיו ידבקו, בני ישראל. וכל בת יורשת נחלה ממטות בני ישראל, לאחד ממשפחת מטה אביה תהיה לאישה, למען ירשו בני ישראל איש נחלת אבותיו, ולא תסב נחלה ממטה למטה אחר, כי איש בנחלתו ידבקו. מטות בני ישראל, כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה, כן עשו בנות צלופחד, ותהיינה מחלה, תרצה וחוגלה ומלכה ונועה, בנות צלופחד לבני דודיהן לנשים, ממשפחת בני מנשה בן יוסף היו לנשים, ותהיינה נחלתן על מטה משפחת אביהן. אלה המצוות והמשפטים אשר ציווה אדוני ביד משה אל בני ישראל בערבות מואב על ירדן יריחו. חזק חזק ונתחזק. May we go from strength to strength, or literally be strong, and we will all be strong together. The translation goes like this. So Moses, at Adonai's bidding, instructed the Israelites, saying, the plea of the Josephite tribe is just. This is what Adonai has commanded concerning the daughters of Tzlofchad. They may marry anyone they wish, provided they marry into a clan of their father's tribe. No inheritance of the Israelites may pass over from one tribe to another, but the Israelites must remain bound, each to the ancestral portion of his tribe. Every daughter among the Israelite tribes who inherits a share must marry someone from a clan of her father's tribe in order that every Israelite may keep his ancestral share. Thus no inheritance shall pass over from one tribe to another, but the Israelite tribes shall remain bound, each to its portion. The daughters of Tzlofchad did as Adonai had commanded Moses. Machla, Tirza, Chogla, Milka, and Noah, Tzlofchad's daughters, were married to the sons of their uncles, marrying into clans of descendants of Menashe, son of Yosef, and so their share remained in the tribe of their father's clan. These are the commandments and regulations that Adonai enjoined upon the Israelites through Moses on the steppes of Moab at the Jordan near Jericho. So, it might seem like a simple real estate thing, but it's actually much bigger than that. It's a huge drama. It has two steps into that drama. The first step was a few Torah portions ago, during the Torah portion of Pinchas. The 5 courageous daughters, we have their names. It's very rare to have feminine names. They approach Moses and the heads of the people of Israel and the entire community. They stand before 600,000 men and they say, this is not right. We should inherit our father. And Moses doesn't know what to do. He turns to God and Adonai says, Ken, which means they are correct, they are just. By the way, in biblical Hebrew, usually the word ken is not used as in modern Hebrew as yes, but it's used as keneh, which means sincere. That plea is sincere and just. So you can even understand it that Adonai has a stronger statement. And that's all wonderful. And Adonai not only says they are right and they are just and they are sincere, but from now on, in such cases, women will inherit their father's inheritance. So far, great. Then comes the clan of Menashe and says, they'll marry outside of the tribe, and the land will go to another tribe, and we will lose from our share in the land of Israel. And Adonai says, through Moses, the same answer. Ken, Matei Yosef, they are right, they are sincere, they are just. So Adonai says the following, and I want you to listen to the language of one of the most contradicting sentences in the Torah. Adonai says the following. It's verse 6. This is what Adonai has commanded concerning the daughters of Tzlofchad. They may marry anyone they wish. Right? Great. Go get married. And then it says, provided they marry into the clan of their father's tribe. What happens if they fall in with a really nice guy from the tribe of Ephraim? No, they cannot marry someone. It has to be from within the tribe. Actually, we found out later, even from the same clan, from the same family, they marry their cousins. So what does Adonai actually teaches us here in this lesson that ends the book of Numbers? That sometimes when you want to change things, and there is no doubt that what the daughters of Tzlofchad did was an unusual social change. By the way, a very courageous teaching that we learned in Pinchas, that when you see that something is not right, you stand up for your rights, even if it's against everyone, even if it's against God, and even if it's something that sounds selfish, Like they're saying it's not fair that we're not inheriting. They're not saying we're here for social justice and for world peace and for equality between mankind, nor regardless of color and race and sexual orientation or whatever. They're talking about themselves, about their own inheritance. But still, this is what you should do. You should stand up to power and authority. But then, God learns, and we learn, that life is actually more complex and things are messier. And the first ruling that sounded so just and right actually creates an other unjust something there. You know, there was a big controversy in Israel over a law that the right-wing parties have been passing already every year for the past 18 years. And all of a sudden they made changes, that this new government, including two parties that always voted for that law. Automatically they voted. And the Prime Minister of Israel, Bennett, said something that I hope he believes in what he said, that he didn't just say it because it sounded right, but it was so beautiful. He said, it's the first time in my career that I set up before voting with members of the Arab Party and of the Left Party, and I heard them and I learned things I never understood before, and I realized that there were some parts of the law that needed to be changed. So God is actually saying to us, you need to listen to all opinions and you need to make compromises. Even when you're here fighting for social justice, even if you're fighting for social change, and you're sure that what you say and what you stand for is so right and so just. And it sounds like it. It sounded like it even to God. Things are actually much more complex, and when we really want to make change, we have to agree also to compromise on that change. Let's say the blessing after reading from the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
Please rise.
וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל. על פי אדוני ביד משה, ביד משה. על פי אדוני ביד משה. משה לפני בני ישראל, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל.
And we turn now to page 283 to read together the words of Aleinu Leshabeach. We're reading in the middle of 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. And we turn now to page 287 to continue the Aleinu prayer. Please join me. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed from this world, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially John A. DeAngelo, Shirley Tanches-Therese, Bruce Krantz, Ida Gadi, Mason Rod, Barbara Barbie Myers, Doris Myers, Daniel Jacobson, Samuel Steinberg, Rita Stein, Alan M. Shapiro, Esther Meyerson, Jesse Rosenbaum, Emil Breiner, Corinne Bergwerk, Menachem Blum, Leonard W. Levin, Carl K. Hellman, Norman Wasserman, Herbert Jenkins, Norbert Frank, Virginia Graves, Freddie Rothstein, Max Siegel, Brick Berkos, Alan Hendmiker, Carol Marin Bloom, Jack R. Greenspan, Rhoda Schwartz, Gloria Kirsch, Florence Gutfreund, Thelma Kahn, Helen Siegel, Eileen Renko, Mildred Goodman, Howard Hess, and in recent days, Mark Kranz. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories from our loved ones, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. May the memories of our loved one come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom.
Amen.
Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Imotenu, shetoluchenu l'shalom. May it be your will, Adonai our God and God of our ancestors, that you guide us on the path of shalom, of well-being and wholeness and wellness and peace, and protect us from all harm and evil on our way. Bless the work of our hands, and grant us grace, loving kindness, and compassion in your eyes, in the eyes of everyone who sees us. Adonai Shalom, bless us with the Shabbat of Shalom. Shalom to our bodies, to our minds, to our souls. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.